My name is Jude Menes. I am a lawyer here in Dallas, Texas, born in Nigeria, but have spent most of my lifetime here in the US. I presently represent mostly US and European companies that do business in Africa and the emerging markets. So my focus as a lawyer is really to help US companies, European companies, Asian companies, to help them succeed in Africa by eliminating those bottlenecks and those things that stop them from success. In doing so, the goal also is to enrich Africa by driving worthy and quality investments. You know, they always say that Africa needs investment. Yes, we do, but we need the good ones, and we need quality investors, and we need investors that are willing to give us good contracts, investors that are willing to know that everybody has to come out in a win-win situation. We don't need to be recolonized in an economic way because colonization can happen in different ways. So what my firm and our colleagues and my partners, what we do is really to make sure that when investors and companies show interest in doing business in Africa, our goal is to make sure that whatever they do is fair, not only to themselves, because they are in need to make money, but we also want to make sure that they are fair to Africa, that our people benefit from the investment. So I think in a nutshell, that's really what we do.
Thank you so much for that. That is very important, especially in line with the conversation that we have today, just now, which is about the influence of the Russia-Ukraine conflict or war, as it were. So let's start with, how do you even see what is going on in the Russia-Ukraine environment, the war that is going on there? What is your take on it?
Well, you said it all when you said that it affects us all. You know, it affects everybody directly, not just indirectly. The world has moved on from where every country and every region used to be so segmented. Right now, you can actually look at the world as a unit. If something is happening in the US, it affects everybody. If something is happening in Africa, it affects everybody because the world is now so interconnected. Okay, look at what is happening to gas prices now, fuel. Look at what is happening to the prices. Look at what is happening to the supply chain. See, the world just came out of a very serious economic downturn because of the pandemic. And now we got this war that's just happening. So it's really a blow to the world. I just hope that the blow is not so much that some countries and some continents will find difficult to absorb. I hope that especially Africa, that we will be in a position to realize that, look, the world is going to change a bit when this is over. So we have to now start getting ready to do the necessary things to make sure that we don't get hurt as much as we should have when the whole thing is over, because investments are going to be driven towards Ukraine and the surrounding countries. So we have to really be ready for that happening.
It's true, at the end of the day, we are going to have to look for how it affects also us as nations, because in terms of food production, it becomes very important what is happening in Ukraine, because a lot of African countries are complaining of a shortage of wheat, shortage of flour, of course, that is needed to produce bread and other food in the African countries. And this have affected our country because you and I, we are both coming from Nigeria. So in a particular way, we are interested in the effect that they have on us. Before we get there, I'm sort of curious. something is happening. Do you think somebody could have a blame in what is going on in Ukraine?
You know, with every conflict, it's always easy to blame someone, which is what is going on now. Russia is blaming NATO and Ukraine. Ukraine is blaming Russia. Here's my take on it. My take is everybody is to blame, because by the time you get to where you start throwing punches, where you start drawing out the guns, then that means that diplomacy has failed. And when something fails, it's wrong to blame one person. When something, it takes two to tango, you know? And remember what Bob Marley said. He said, "He who fights to run away will live to fight another day." If both parties had remembered that, look, there has to be a way to make this war go away. There has to be a way to make sure that this war didn't happen. Then we wouldn't be where we are today. It's easy to blame someone. It's very easy. But then it takes, if two people sat down, I remember what we say in negotiation. We say in negotiation, never stop talking. Never stop talking. And also remember that by the time you reach a deal in any negotiation, it's going to be a deal that I don't like 100%, you don't like it 100%. That's the deal. I think somehow the parties just gave up. They just stopped talking, and they forgot that in the end, lives will be lost. Look at the number of people that have died, not just on the Ukraine side, on both sides.
Yeah, even
people
in
are
Russia
dying.
too. Yeah, please
Yeah,
go.
people are dying. People are dying. And I can bet you that these people who are dying never had a say as to whether there should be war or not. That's the sad part about war. That the guys who actually die are the people, the soldiers, for one, they never got to vote whether we should have war or not. The civilians who died, they never got to make the decision whether we should have war or not. But they are the casualties. So to me, it's unfortunate on both sides. I really wish that both sides had stopped they should have done something, to keep talking, find a way. If we avoid it, if we can do well to avoid it today, then we'll have another day to talk.
Do you think there was even a kind of a serious effort to make sure that the conversation actually go on, or it was just a way of one threatening the other? Because of course, the war between, it's true that what we are seeing playing out today is seeing that Russia is actually having a very tough hit in it. But I don't think that reflects the strength of both sides, no? So what I'm saying is that whether the conversation was actually there, so that at a point it broke.
Personally, I don't think that a good conversation was made. I don't think a good effort was made. Now, I know that if you go to Ukraine, they'll tell you that, yeah, we did everything possible. If you go to Russia, they'll say we did everything possible. You go to NATO, they'll say we did everything possible. I just didn't see it. For one, I felt that when all these things were happening, I felt that Russia and Ukraine should be talking directly. When something is going to affect you directly and is going to affect your people, you don't talk through NATO. You don't talk through other countries. You go there, you sit down and you talk. You look each other in the eye and you talk. And I didn't really see them talk directly. So I think that both parties were just doing a lot of posturing to show that, look, if we go to war, we are going to come out victorious. Or if we go to war, you are going to suffer. We are not going to suffer as much as you think we will suffer. I think that was much of what I saw leading up to the war.